recording is started, and then I will just be a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about.
Gotcha. Also, for the recording, if you want to upload it to your YouTube, it's fine. I just put private because I don't know if you actually like putting them up because I looked up your channel and they're all like an hour long.
Yeah, I usually just upload the just the raw footage.
Yeah. So yeah, whichever one you prefer is fine.
All right.
I don't really mind either way.
All right. Watch spam jumping. Spam jumping just when you go jump, 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 jump. That's actually going to make it harder, like your mobility worse, but then also at the same time is going to make you easier to headshot from people. Because when you go up, you have to come down. It's an easily trackable animation. So I would just watch just jumping all the time. It's also going to mess with your aim too.
They're progressing faster than anticipated. Big Starlight.
Should have kept your head down. Hello. Come with us. Thanks.
Regaining ground.
Your team
Time
is
to push.
close to taking the lead.
Oh, I actually hate this game mode. I feel like it takes so long
Hold on.
because it just gives you I feel like it gives you way too much time. I've had like probably like 30-minute games every time I play this.
I think it's capped at 10 minutes. Unless
Oh,
you
it
go
is?
overtime. Yeah, if you look up
Yeah,
top, it's 8
it's
minutes.
usually overtime. It's always overtime.
Yeah, but then it ends just as soon as somebody wins the fight, essentially.
Wrong enemy. Here is an enemy.
Your team has taken the lead.
Poison.
Also, what I started noticing is I've been like holding my ultimates way too long.
Yep, and that's important to just make sure you're using them. You know, like even in that situation, would have been okay to use it. Make sure you're just using cover. We'll maybe go over some things after we're done here, but they're easily avoided if we're just running around the corner.
Redeploying.
Cause like here, I don't feel like I should use it because there's only one person on here.
Yep.
I don't even think I should run in there really. Wait for my team.
We have to stop them. Ice wall.
The enemy's
Freeze!
turn.
Don't
We
move.
must halt them. We're gonna lose the lead. Step up. I don't understand your generation.
Okay. Noticing a few things with positioning. Make sure you're taking high ground. Make sure I think you keep backing up to like kind of a further range than you need to be in a lot of these fights. When we could be just a hair bit closer, but we'll go over more in depth on those after we're done the game. But there wasn't really a big reason for us to be sitting on low ground during that whole fight.
Rally near the robot and keep pushing.
Also, once again, possibly could have used Visor for a faster cleanup of a fight. Or just using it, you know, like closer to the start.
I need healing. Need healing. What up? Let's wipe them out.
Why are you when you can run?
Everyone, heal up. I've got you in my sights.
Oh. Just gotta be aware of our surroundings. Shit, that death comes just because we didn't know where the heck Hog was. Hog jumps on our face, and we're dead. Also, when you're visoring, make sure you're just picking out who you're shooting at, so that you can continue to shoot at them while you're visoring, right? Whereas we swap kind of between 3 different people there.
Ice wall coming up. Let's move the barricade.
Who needs healing?
I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
Okay. Right now, maybe we can be running around like just up to this top right, taking high ground, just like poking and shooting at people, getting in some extra damage. It's not really our job to be cart bot.
Surrender to my will.
There are no sides out here.
Our turn. Let's push forward.
Hunting progress.
Everyone, heal up.
No fearing. Your carry is here.
Okay, nice.
Your enemy's coming. Load up.
I offer something more. Your end is
Experience tranquility.
Let's start the push.
Double.
You picked the wrong me. Has spent.
Approaching the final
Got you in my sights. That warms the bones. Come get healed.
Activating self-destruct sequence. Booting up.
All right. Make sure you're not reloading when you still have like a bunch of ammo left and there's people to shoot at. Some like we kind of get a kill and then reload when we still got like 20 ammo and there's people in front of our face. Also, when you're about to cap point, where's the one place the enemy team needs to go?
On the thing, on the robot,
On the point, right? So where is
Yeah.
the most dangerous place to be standing?
on the point.
On the point. So maybe not a great place for you to be. Also, it's going to limit your visibility, so you actually have less people to be shooting at, right? Whereas maybe putting some distance, putting, being maybe more of a medium range from point might actually let you do, be shooting at people on point and not be nearly as dangerous of a spot.
Please get away.
Hey, stick with the robot.
Everyone, heal up.
You're amazing.
surrender.
Yeah,
to my
nice.
They're
will.
going, not where they are.
Back off. That will be all.
Uh-oh. React maybe a little bit slowly. Drop health pack. Use your helix, right? Burst them down faster. Just using abilities there can probably help.
I've seen tougher spots.
Receive my aid.
Get back. Freeze. Don't move.
Probably a good time to...
60 seconds remaining.
Got you in my sights.
Make sure you're watching. We'll maybe talk about that as also when you're done your game. But watch how many teammates you have alive, because we just lost so many teammates. That, firstly, it's not worth it. We can't even win that fight at that point. And then even if we did kill them, like there, it looks like you guys maybe clutched them, kill them, but they're just gonna come back because they have such close spawns, right? It's not even worth it at this point.
30 seconds remaining.
So it just becomes a wasted ult when we probably could have backed up and or died and regrouped.
Robot.
Can't argue with a well-timed rocket.
I'm under attack.
Approaching the final destination. 10 seconds remaining.
Oh my god.
Setting up beds.
Okay, very nice. Once again, we seem to be kind of really delayed in noticing. Oh, there's a Reaper teleporting next to me.
The end approaches.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Alright, we're going to go over a couple different things, so don't hop into a game quite yet.
Gotcha.
Maybe you can, like, when we're, like, halfway through this stuff. Alright. I'm streaming if you'd like to take a look. Alright, so let us see. A couple different things. Firstly, I'd probably say one of the bigger things I was noticing in that game was your positioning. I think that we probably could have set ourselves up a lot better in a lot of situations to just do more just naturally by being in the better spot. So a couple things to go over. Firstly, let's just cover. Right, let's go over cover usage. If I am standing right here and the enemy team is standing right there and they're all looking at me and shooting at me, it's going to take me like even I'm sprinting like on Soldier. It's going to take me 1, 2, right, 2 seconds to get behind the corner, and a lot of other characters might even take longer, might take more like 3 seconds. And in that time it took me to walk here, I ended up dying. Whereas if when I'm here, you can't shoot through solid objects, so I am safe, right? And if I'm next to cover instead, I can go like this, and now it takes me half a second to get behind cover, which is gonna be like 4 times faster than what it just took me, or 6 times faster if I'm on a different character that's not Soldier, right? So we want to make sure we're positioning near cover. Good positioning is the usage of cover. Bad positioning is the absence of cover. Whereas there's maybe a couple times where we just had an absence of cover and that got us killed, like when we got visored that one time. So we just want to make sure that we are using it and not standing out in the open. Next, high ground usage. I do not think that we really used high ground as well as we could have. There may be some situations where we could have taken it and we kind of just ignored it, or we didn't really look to seek it out. When we are playing high grounds, right, they do a lot of things for us. High grounds, again, all act as natural cover. So they can see us, now they can't. He can see us, now he can't, right? So you just move backwards along the high ground, crouch, and people can't see you. And this just naturally acts as cover and makes it much harder for people to get to you. Also, about to like 2/3 of the characters in the game can't actually instantly get to you on high ground, which adds another layer of survivability. You stay alive longer. On top of that, you have a ton of visibility from high ground. So you can see over here and over here, here, and all the high ground. But if we're on the low ground, we can't see all of that. Can't see over there. Can't see over there. Can't really see over there, right? So it just limits our visibility by a ton. And therefore, high ground gives us a lot more angles to shoot from. And usually they're better angles to shoot from as well. So high ground is the place to go. I'd recommend like go there in between fights, as long as it's in the fight and it's not uber dangerous. Like if it's not gonna get you killed, like the whole enemy team's not on it, and as long as it's in the fight, like if the whole fight's over here and I'm going to this high ground over here, well then it's not really a great high ground to be on, right? Couple other things. Range. So as Soldier, I think too often you put yourself at a too long of a range. As Soldier, you're a mid-range character. So what that means is that we don't want to be too close to people, because there's a lot of other characters that do it better than us, right? So there's Reaper, there's Junkrat, there's May, there's Reinhardt, there's Roadhog, right? There's a bunch of other characters that just do this range better. So we don't want to be that range. Probably want to start at like 15 meters or so, starting back here, just to put some space between us, right? But you'll start to notice that the further back we go, the more shots it's going to take to actually kill someone, right? So if we're right here, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots to kill. We come back to here. It's going to take us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots to kill, right? That is fall off damage, right? We come back a little bit more. Just another 5 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shots to kill, right? So it's literally taking twice the amount of shots. On top of that, because we're so far away, we're actually going to be missing more as well, because it's a smaller target, less, much harder to hit than ones right here, right? Also, you're gonna have a harder time landing your Helix rocket because it's so far away, right? So overall, probably don't want to be that far back. As Soldier, I'd probably like cap out at around like 45 meters, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Might even say like 30, right? 30. So this is 10, 20, 30. Yeah, I'd say like 30 to 35. 35 is like half cap. 30 is probably a little bit better as well. Whereas this is like we oftentimes would kind of put ourselves back at these ranges from people, from enemies, when we just don't prefer that. We want to be a little bit closer. Just make shots easier on ourselves. All that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else is there. We're going to talk about kill feed. Essentially, how do you tell whether or not you've won or lost a fight? Comes down to watching kill feed, top right corner of your screen, right? That's very important to be watching because it essentially will give you a lot of info, and it's the basics of telling how that you've won or lost. It's not all of it, but it's the basics. If you are up 1 to 2 people or down 1 to 2 people, that is an advantage or a disadvantage. And that isn't to say that you've won or lost. It's just to say that you either can play a little bit more aggro if you're winning, or more passive if you're losing, right? And then if you take that and you go 1 higher and you go 2 to 3, 2 to 3 up or down is a won or a lost fight. So in those cases, you play at either super aggro if you've won the fight, or if you've lost the fight, you get out if you can. If you can't get out, you let them kill you. And then in both cases, don't really want to be using your ultimate, because then your ultimate just gets wasted and doesn't really do nothing. Like we saw in that kind of one time that we used it during that game. Alright, you can queue up for a game. Maybe we can go over a few other things while we're going. No other questions?
No question.
Alright, as soldier, are you familiar with how to like helix jump?
No.
No? So this is just, you know, it's a little bit handy for getting to places. Like if I wanted to get up to that high ground, I can helix rocket. Oh, maybe I need to wait for the stinking thing to come around, right? But I can actually, I can't like sprint jump that, but if I helix jump it, I can make it up to this high ground over here, right? And then that means that I have this really cool high ground. You can actually do this in a lot of different spots throughout the game. But essentially what you're going to do is you're just going to right click the ground and jump at the same time. So you just press both buttons at the same time and you get launched up in the air. And then if you're trying to go, that gets you vertical, and if you're trying to go horizontal, so go to the side, then you sprint forwards. So if I'm trying to do this right here, where I get from here to there, I can press that and then sprint forwards after I'm in the air. Make sense?
So how would I find like the spots?
Oh, you can watch videos on that. Or you can just test it out for yourself. But there's probably a lot of videos that will go over like, oh, these are all the soldier spots you can find. At least I'd think there would be at this point. It's been a while since I've checked. Then besides that, let's see. When you are reloading, to keep up momentum, you can actually reload while midair. So if you just jump off something and reload, and then you can just keep sprinting, it just kind of keeps up the momentum. You can even do that to a slight degree when you're just normally running. You can jump, and it keeps some of the momentum, so that you're not just completely coming to a halt and just completely stopping. So I might recommend that. Just jump before you're reloading and jump off things before you're reloading. Just be a little bit faster. Target priority, especially in Overwatch 2. This is still a thing in Overwatch 1, but especially in Overwatch 2, probably don't want to be shooting at tanks when we have the opportunity to go at other characters, right? Tanks are super hard to kill. At this point, like 4 times the health of other characters. They are super difficult to kill with shields and tanking abilities and armor and lots of healing that they can get. And damage or boop reduction and all that, right? Overall, maybe not who we want to be spending most of our time shooting when we could shoot at the other characters. So shoot at the easiest targets to shoot at, because then those will actually die. And that's the basics of target priority. And that doesn't mean just tanks. There's a lot of other things too that go into that. Also, shoot at tanks when they're low or out of position, or they're the only thing you can shoot at because that's when it's gonna be best to shoot at them. All right.
Right.
Also, let me know when you get into the game, by the way.
Okay. Yep. So.
All right. Do 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 do. Trying to think through if there was anything else. Yeah, I think you did a decent job of Helix usage. I think that's it for the moment. Maybe, I mean, I think this is an everyone thing, but make sure you're working on just getting used to pings as well.
Tango spotted.
Just because it's not a common thing that people are doing at the moment.
Hostile here.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to it because I play Apex, so like if I see someone in like a room, I just think. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really use it.
Let's see. Is there a ping? Something I want to look for. Communication. Is there a ping like sensitivity? Ping options. Enemy ping sensitivity.
Got a game.
It's like 50.
Now entering. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Hmm.
You want me to play Soldier 76 again?
Whatever you want to play, man.
Every soldier needs.
Oh yeah, I guess this will be.
You cut out, by the way. I don't think you receive damage, knock, or you don't receive knockback in the,
Don't be
Oh,
afraid
in
to
the
ask
room?
for
yeah,
help out
in the
there.
room. If I'm not mistaken.
What are you looking at? If you knew what Blackwatch was up to, why didn't you stop them?
My vision was clouded by anger.
And now the world pays for your actions.
In that, we
Alright, so here might be a good idea if we like wrapped up and took like the right side high ground. Not that one, the one past that. I mean, if we need that one to get through choke, that'd be fine.
Mobilize.
And how do I get to that one?
The right side stairway. Yeah, just make sure we're not sitting around. Oh, so in this game as well, there's something called actions per minute. Just how much are you doing per minute, per fight, per whatever. You know, so we don't want to just be sitting around, not really doing too much. Like, rather than just sitting there shooting at the shield and sitting in the back, we want to be running and taking positioning fast so that we can participate in the fight. Right now, we can maybe be running around up to the high grounds. That way, like, I mean, we can just be in position for the next fight.
Biotics deployed.
Uh-oh. Watch standing still. So to our right here, we can actually even go further up to the right. Yep.
Oh.
But at this point, you know, most of the fight's happening on point anyways.
Shield going at the objective. Barrier won't hold much longer.
If you wanted to try it, you could Helix jump over to that other high ground, or you might even be able to sprint it, but I can't remember.
Now.
I claim this objective.
Okay, I missed the pretty bit.
All good. Nice kill. Yeah. Main thing is just you want to be as fast as possible with those, because the slower we're on those flanks, that means the you know, more time we're taking out of fights. You want to do it between the fights, not like doing long flanks during the fights.
Objective A
Gotcha.
captured. Escort the payload.
Raising shield.
Payload's moving out.
I'm under attack. Shield buckling.
Everyone, heal up. Unsuccessful. Tango spotted.
Fire at will.
Yeah, make sure not shooting at that Sigma's eat. That'll just feed him more HP.
Oh, it gives him H. I never knew that.
Yep. When you shoot into his grasp, the more damage he intakes, he gets like temporary shields from.
Gotcha.
He can get up to 400 temporary shields. So if he's full HP, he can get a maximum of 800 HP.
Shields under fire.
Or sorry, no, I don't. I think they upped his health. I can't remember. He used to be 400 HP. Oh man, all the numbers are hurting my brain.
Yeah.
Okay, right now maybe like wrap to the. Oh, I think we'll go over. We're gonna go over one more thing with positioning after we're done here, but. Make sure you can actually see things, like push forwards a little bit. A lot of times they're just kind of hanging in the back where we can't really see anything. Even right now, we probably want to be staggering people, pushing forwards. Maybe like we could have killed that BAP. Now it's probably too late, but while he's still running away, instead of just sitting on cart.
Shields buckling.
A lot of the times, I mean, we don't have to go super in depth on it unless you need an explanation, but you only really need one person on cart.
I've got you in my sights.
Don't be afraid to push past it.
Nice try.
Okay.
Receive my aid.
I'm ready to rally.
This ends now.
Fields online.
Will.
Much
They're trying to get out right now. Probably just key sprinting.
Is within my reach.
Here, take this. Shields under fire.
Why has the payload stopped?
We must
Barrier's
move
not in
over
good
there.
shape.
Okay, your team's pushing forward, so make sure you're up with them. Notice how we kind of have a tendency to just hold S while we're playing.
Biotic healing ready for use.
For the pulse.
Shields up.
What's the rush?
That's a clean takedown. Darkness grows. Come get, I've got you in my sights.
Okay, once again, make sure you're keeping on target. We kind of swap between like 4 different things there. So you're swapping between 4 different characters with your visor. That means he gets one person down the 10 HP, and then one person down the 10 HP, and then one person down the 10 HP, and then nothing dies. So you just focus them down one at a time, whittle them down.
Gotcha.
Also, I need to check.
Prepare your defenses.
Does visor?
Select your hero.
I don't remember if they removed that or not. If visor still does headshots when you're aiming at people's heads with it. I don't know if they removed that or that's still in. I'm testing it right now.
Double. Triple kill. Quadruple kill.
Enemies in disarray.
Yeah, cause like, the reason why I switched there was because I saw the Reaper was, it went into the shadow. So I wasn't even sure there was more people back there. I just went to the right.
You sure talk like one. I've got you in my sights.
Yeah, okay, so the other thing to keep in mind as well is that you still when you're visoring, that this is a change that they made, but you can hit headshots while you're visoring. Right,
Oh.
but you have to be aiming at them. So make sure you're still aiming at people even while you're visoring. Try to stick on one person, track one person, aim for their head, and then even if you miss, you're still hitting all your shots, right? And then also it's going to mean that once your visor ends, that you are still already on someone. Yep, I like this starting spot. That's good.
Mike.
Go to this one.
Yep, just be ready to back up if they start looking at you. Like maybe back up now. So that, oh, there you go.
Biotics deployed.
Just because that's very narrow and doesn't have any cover on it, right? So there are good and bad high grounds. So I wouldn't stick on that front one too much. Maybe like right now, like if you're just kind of poking and trying to like, you know, just see some more stuff around that corner. But then once people start shooting at you, they might, you know, want to back off and give it up.
Heals coming up.
Yep, target priority. You know, Mercy and Orisa on our screen. Shoot at Mercy. Very nice.
Deploy.
I require assistance.
Uh-oh, our team overextended.
Heals coming
Crap,
up.
I fell.
Pushing forward.
Damn.
Join me.
Thanks.
A cure for all the days. Bring me energy. Big stanger left.
Fire in vain.
Yikes.
Face the defender of the van objective lost.
Biotics
Stop the
deployed.
payload.
Patched up.
Yeah, watch how many teammates you have alive. Right, might want to be backing up and regrouping. Right, being down 2 is a lost fight. Being down 3 is a lost fight.
Heals coming up.
So at that point, it's either get out if you can. If you can't, you let them kill you.
Group up with me.
Should I let them kill me here, or?
Well, I don't know. Do you think you can make it? Okay, top left would probably be a good idea. We have a visor to use, right? Just make sure we're not holding on to that.
Heals online.
Use that health pad when you're peeking so that you can stay there longer, rather than just peeking and then health packing and then peeking.
Checking in.
All right, and then just remember, the faster that we're like, ults that are used first generally get more value than ults that are used second. So, you know, they come in with Sojourner ult, they farm us up, and then we all die, and we don't even get a chance to use ours. But if we were to ult first, then we can probably get that advantage first, right? So just make sure you're not holding on to it. Make sure you're looking to position yourself into the best place possible for the start of the fight, not having to make that rotation during the fight.
I've got you in my sights. Who needs healing?
Deine Pflicht ist nicht getan.
They have superior numbers.
Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, I'm probably not gonna.
That's better.
The payload is approaching its
Setting up
destination.
vents.
Sie werden dich nicht.
It seems our tests are inconclusive.
Uh-oh.
Damn. I know that pushing back.
So during that fight, maybe like top right might have been a good idea as well. We're gonna go over like another concept after we're done here, or you know, a
Yeah.
couple more.
I think for positioning, I'm gonna have to look up the maps because I didn't even know there was a top right here.
Oh yeah, so if you like wrap up there, you can just go up and around. Yep.
Come to me.
Yeah, never used one.
Mhm.
Don't really use high ground.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably a good thing to get used to. A lot of advantages that come along with it.
Should I move up here?
Oh yeah, you can move up if your team's up there because you can't really see too much from back there. That was more so when they were super far pushed forwards. So like right now, your team's forwards. We probably want to be forwards too. Like remember that 15 to 30 meters thing. Like right now, we're just like 50 meters away.
Breaking them down.
my friend.
The enemy is being resurrected.
Going somewhere?
Got you in my sights. Pulse munitions delivered to target. Powered up.
Group up with me. Group up. Join with me.
Sprint, sprint. I wouldn't shoot at her, you're probably not gonna kill her. Mainly in that situation, just run away.
Almost recharge. Hold on.
They'll regret that.
Surrender to my will. Fire in the hole!
Heals coming up.
Breaking them down.
Still coming at you.
This ends now.
60 seconds.
Biotics deployed. That's better.
Expert work.
Yep, just notice how fast did Sojourn die in comparison to the 30 seconds we've been shooting at Orisa, right? So, it's a lot of the time, like, if Orisa's just, like, full HP, she just used gold, which she's taking less damage if she just used gold, she's not taking headshots. If she is nanoed, then it really just don't look at her, right? Try to look at something else.
Biotic healing ready for you.
Now, if she's inside your whole team, now she's overextended, right? Now she's overextended, now she's low HP. That's where you can look at her, right? Because it's a 3v1 and she's half HP. All right, good game. All right, we got a few things. I think you can probably. All right, let's see how much time do we have here. We started. Oh, did we start at 7?
Yeah,
Started at
7.
7. Okay, then don't queue up yet. We're gonna go over a few things and then hop into like the wrap up review part. Oh, I stopped my stream and said stop watching yours. All right. So, a couple things. So we talked a little bit about the target priority there at the end, right? Who should we be looking at? So there's two parts to target priority. Firstly, there is going to be equal opportunity. So if we have the equal opportunity to shoot at either Orisa or Ana or Sojourn, there's no reason why we should be looking at Orisa unless she's now an easy target because she's out of position, she's low HP, right? Or if she's like blocking them and there's not, or she's in our face, right? And she's right here. Okay, well then who else are we going to shoot at, right? But there's also another thing we can do. That's not just equal opportunity, because this is kind of if the opportunity comes, is in our face, then we do it. But there's also actively seeking out those other characters, and the very easy way to do that is by doing something we call off-angling. So if the enemy team is standing there, our team is standing here. This is what you would call the main angle. If we're trying to shoot down here, we're just shooting into the tank, right? That's really a lot of what it is. Shields, tanking abilities. But if we just take a second to come over here, well, now we've just instantly kind of gotten around the tank and the shields and the tanking abilities straight to their back line where we can farm things up. And then it's not dangerous at all. It's very safe. We can get back instantly, so it's fast and safe. Same example. Enemy team, our team, main angle. Right? We just take a couple seconds to sprint around up to the high ground. Well, now we've just instantly gotten around the tank, straight to the back line. This is another benefit of high ground, is high grounds act as off angles. As long as we're like above them. If they're like all the way over there, well then not really, because they can still block us off. But if we're above them, then we can just go around super easily, shoot at their back line, farm them up. And then, yeah, that's mainly it. Do keep in mind that there's a difference between off-angling and flanking. That was an off-angle. A flank would be if we did this, where enemy team, our team, We went around and around and around. Flanks are much longer, usually a lot more dangerous. Really, you know, a soldier, you can do flanks because you have survivability with your health pack. You have speed with your sprinting. Especially if you're visoring, that wouldn't be too shabby of a play. But even not, like, you know, that's a flanking is pretty solid. Soldier's a flanky, you know, flanky character, but you don't necessarily want to do that on every character, right? So I wouldn't do that on some slower ones, right? And then when you do that, if it's a longer flank, make sure you're not doing those in the middle of the fight. If it's going to take you 10 seconds to rotate, think about how much is happening without you in the fight, right? So you might be better off doing that in between the fights, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like there's something else on my mind that I forgot I want to talk about. Oh, Helix Rocket. Helix Rocket really quickly, and then we're going to wrap up. Helix Rocket, don't Helix at people like this, because then if you miss, then it just goes sailing past the person, right? We miss, goes all the way over there. But instead, you want to aim at the person's feet, because if you hit, you still get the direct damage, but then if you miss, well, then we get the splash damage on the ground, which just means that we get extra. So aim at head level, shoot, shoot, pew, 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 pow, pow, and then we aim at the feet to really quickly for the Helix. Helix rockets. At close ranges, so about 20 meters and closer, we're going to Helix as a finisher. So a pow pow Helix as the finisher. It acts as really good burst damage, and that's how I've seen you using it. But then once you're further away, you don't really want to do that because it's a really slow finisher if we're further away. And then on top of that, it's going to be less accurate because it's a projectile. So you might be better off shooting it first, because then we can shoot it in and then follow it up all at the same time and burst them down. Makes sense. So the split's around 20 meters or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Really quickly. Oh, you got your notes, so you know it doesn't matter. A lot of this is going to be covered in that, but this is just the overview, right? Main points. Ability usage. Sprint's pretty fine. Health pack, maybe a couple times we could have used it better, right? It's really going to be good if you can go on these off angles and flanks and plop it down, and now we can stay here longer and you know, visor and things like that from here. It's going to be a really great option for visors is doing these. I was trying to guide you there in a couple of them. Let's see. Helix, we just talked about all your Helix stuff just a second ago. Overall, probably low to medium, maybe even lower end of that. It wasn't really a big deal with our abilities. Ult usage, make sure you're aiming at people, going for those headshots. Don't swap between people, because we would kind of go person, 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 person. And we kind of just, you know, cycle through people and then never really accomplish a kill. Take high grounds, take off angles, aim at people. Don't hold on to it. Use it, generally speaking. It's best to use ults at the start of fights. Ults that are used first generally get more value than ults that are used second. Then mid-fight is okay. Late fight is situational. And then in-between fights is very rare. Do you want to be using it? That includes before the fight starts. Overall, probably around like a medium priority for you to work on. Then we got your mechanics. I don't think we talked too much about like raw aim. There's maybe like a tiny thing. It's hard to see because the stream is slightly blurry, but I think we might have been able to aim up just a tad bit, so you're aiming at head level just a bit more. That's called crosshair placement, but we didn't really go in depth on that at all. Besides that, target priority was probably the big one in there. Right, make sure you're shooting at the right characters, right? The squishies in the back line, not the big Orisa on the front line, unless you have the opportunity for it. She's low, she's out of position, or you can't, or she's the only thing you can shoot at. Actively seek out other characters. Don't swap between too many things. You know, keep on one target. Even when we weren't in visor, I felt like we did that too. Where we'd turn the corner, shoot at Ana. After shooting at Ana for about 2 seconds, we'd swap to Sojourn, and then after Sojourn, we swap to Mercy. Just stick on something. The only time you should ever be swapping is if you have a new, better opportunity, or you're low and or you're like pressured and you need to back up, right? So that'd be the only time you have to swap a target, or if they escape, right? That'd be really the only reasons. But you never just want to do it for no reason. Overall, that was probably like a higher end of a medium. Then you have your positioning. Make sure you're sticking within your range. Your range is going to be about 15 to 30, maybe 35. I'd say 15 to 30 is your preference. Closer is okay, just not the best. Further is okay, just not the best. And then it also gets worse and worse the further you go. Besides that, make sure you're using cover. Good positioning is the usage of cover. Bad positioning is the absence of cover. Take high grounds. High grounds are fantastic. Use off angles. Use flanks like we just talked about. I think that's mostly it. Overall, that probably will set you up for a lot better. Like, in fact, I think in your second game, when we were, thinking about that, it actually was working a little bit better than our first game. We were a little bit closer, and we got a little bit more value out of our, out of our kit. So overall, that one probably goes to probably like a medium high, because there's so much in that category. And then finally, you have awareness, paying attention to your environment. Maybe a couple times where we didn't notice the Reaper teleporting up on us. Pay attention to where your teammates are, where the enemy team is, especially. I'd say the enemy team. Watch health bar. I'd probably recommend binding. I need healing. Get that down so you can give your supports an in-game audio cue. Overall, not too much more though. Audio awareness and just general awareness. That probably goes to like lower end of a medium. So to put that all in order, number 1 is going to be your positioning. Number 2 is your mechanics. Number 3 is your ult usage. Then your awareness. Then your ability usage. Any questions?
Not really. I guess for the Helix, the ultimate, not the Helix, it's just the visor. If the like supports are behind the tank, would I just go for the tank, or would I look?
Well, you can try. Well, firstly, you might want to position yourself so that before you're visoring, so that you can get to the supports. Like take an off angle, take a flank, take a high ground, and then if like they move behind the tanks and you have no option to shoot at anything else, then sure, maybe shoot at the tanks because it's the only option. If you can easily run around the tank, then sure, do it. Right? That'd be perfectly fine, right? Like if this is the Orisa and that's the Ana, and Orisa is tanking it, and then you just move to the side, and now you can shoot at the Ana, right? So you can, but I would do your best if you can to try to get around.
Gotcha.
Right? Anything else?
No, I think that'll be all.
All right. So record.